kindergartners. Welcome back for Chapter 18 of The Wizard of Oz. In Chapter 17, the Wizard of Oz decided he would take Dorothy back to Kansas in a hot air balloon, basically. And they were all ready to go. They have this beautiful green hot air balloon made. And right at the last minute, Toto decides to chase a kitten. Dorothy runs after Toto, and the hot air balloon takes off without them. So now Dorothy is stuck in the Emerald City. And remember, everyone in Oz told Dorothy she had to go ask the wizard for help to get home. Well, now the wizard's gone. So we have no Wicked Witch of the West, no Wicked Witch of the East, and no wizard. So let's see what happens in this chapter to Dorothy and our friends. This chapter is called Away to the South, where if you're looking at your map, the South is this red country. Okay, this red country. So let's see what happens. Dorothy wept bitterly at the passing of her hope to get home to Kansas again. But when she thought it all over, she was glad she had not gone up in the balloon. And she also felt sorry at losing Oz, and so did her companions. The Tin Woodman came to her and said, "Oh, truly I should be ungrateful if I failed to mourn for the man who gave me my heart. I should like to cry because Oz is gone. If you'll kindly wipe away my tears so I won't rust." "Oh, with pleasure," Dorothy answered, and she brought him a towel at once. Then the Tin Woodman wept for several minutes, and she watched the tears carefully and wiped them away with a towel. When he had finished, he thanked her kindly and oiled himself thoroughly with his jeweled oil can to guard against mishap. The Scarecrow was now the ruler of the Emerald City. And although he was not a wizard, the people were very proud of him. For, they said, there's not another city in the world that is ruled by a stuffed man. And as far as they knew, they were quite right. The morning after the balloon had gone up with Oz, the four travelers met in the throne room and talked matters over. The Scarecrow sat in the big throne, and the others stood respectfully before him. "We are not so unlucky," said the new ruler, "for this palace and the Emerald City belong to us, and we can do as we please. When I remember that a short time ago I was stuck on a pole in a farmer's cornfield, and now I'm ruler of this beautiful city, well, I'm quite satisfied with my lot." "Oh, I also," said the Tin Woodman, "am well pleased with my new heart, and really it's the only thing I wished for in the world." "Well, for my part, I'm content in knowing I'm as brave as any beast that's ever lived, if not braver," said the Lion modestly. "Oh, but if only Dorothy would be content to live in the Emerald City," continued the Scarecrow, "then we might all be happy together." "Oh, but I just don't want to live here," cried Dorothy. "I want to go back to Kansas and live with Aunt Em and Uncle Henry." "Well then, what can be done?" inquired the Woodman. The Scarecrow decided to think, and he thought so hard that the pins and needles began to stick out of his brains. Finally he said, "Well, why not call the winged monkeys and have them carry you over the desert?" "Oh, I never thought of that," said Dorothy joyfully. "It's just the thing. I'll go at once and get the golden cap." When she brought the golden cap into the throne room, she spoke the magic words, and soon the band of winged monkeys flew in through an open window and stood beside her. "This is the second time you have called us," said the Monkey King, bowing low before the little girl. "What is it you wish?" "I want you to fly with me to Kansas," said Dorothy. But the Monkey King shook his head. "That cannot be done," he said. "We belong to this country of Oz alone and cannot leave it. There has never been a winged monkey in Kansas yet, and there never will be, for they don't belong there. We shall be glad to serve you in any way of our power, but we are not permitted to cross the desert. Goodbye." And with another bow, the Monkey King spread his wings and flew away through the window, followed by his band of monkeys. Dorothy was almost ready to cry with disappointment. "I've wasted the charm of the golden cap for no reason," she said, "for the winged monkeys cannot help me." "Oh, it's certainly very sad," said the tender-hearted woodman. The Scarecrow was thinking again, and his head bulged out so horribly that Dorothy feared it might burst. "Well, let us call the soldier with the green whiskers and ask his advice." So the soldier was summoned and entered the throne room timidly, for while Oz was alive, he was never allowed to come in further than the door. "This little girl right here," said the Scarecrow to the soldier, "wants to cross the desert. How can she?" "I cannot tell," answered the soldier, "for nobody has crossed the desert, except Oz himself." "Well, is there no one who can help me?" asked Dorothy earnestly. "Glinda might," he suggested. "Oh, who is Glinda?" inquired the Scarecrow. "She is the Witch of the South. She is the most powerful of all the witches and rules over the Quadlings. Besides, her castle stands on the edge of the desert, so she may know a way to cross it." "Oh, is Glinda a good witch?" asked the child. "Well, the Quadlings think she is good," said the soldier, "and she is kind to everyone. I have heard that Glinda is a beautiful woman who knows how to keep young in spite of all the years she has lived in Oz." "Well, how can I get to her castle?" asked Dorothy. "The road is straight to the south," he answered, "but it is said to be full of dangers to travelers. There are wild beasts in the woods and a race of queer men who do not like strangers to cross their country. For this reason, none of the Quadlings ever come to the Emerald City." The soldier then left them, and the Scarecrow said, "Well, it seems in spite of dangers that the best thing Dorothy can do is travel to the land of the South and ask Glinda to help her. For of course, if Dorothy stays here, she'll never get back to Kansas." "Oh, you must have been thinking again," remarked the Tin Woodman. "Oh, I have," said the Scarecrow. "I shall go with Dorothy," declared the Lion, "for I'm tired of your city and long for the woods and country again. I'm really a wild beast, you know. Besides, Dorothy will need me to protect her." "Oh, that is true," agreed the Woodman. "My axe may be of service to her, so I also will go with her to the land of the South." "Well then, when shall we start?" asked the Scarecrow. "Are you going?" they all asked in surprise. "Well, certainly. If it wasn't for Dorothy, I should have never had brains. She lifted me from the pole in the cornfield and brought me to the Emerald City. So my good luck is all due to her, and I shall never leave her until she starts back to Kansas for good." "Oh, thank you," said Dorothy gratefully. "You are all very kind to me, but I should like to start as soon as possible." "Then we shall start tomorrow morning," returned the Scarecrow. "So now let us all get ready, for it will be a long journey." So, called the Flying Monkeys. Didn't work. The Flying Monkeys are not allowed to leave Oz. They are stuck in this world. Now, we met the Wicked Witch of the East with the Munchkins, right? House was dropped on her. She was dead as a doornail. And then we met the Witch of the North. Do you remember her? The Witch of the North was the witch that left the silver kiss on Dorothy's forehead. She came to the Munchkin land at the very beginning of the story. Okay, so she came to this blue land, but her land was actually that purple land, the Witch of the North. Then we met the Wicked Witch of the West, and she ruled over the Winkies. Remember that? And then, of course, she was melted, so she's dead as a doornail. So we've met 3 of the witches, and then here the leader of the Winged Monkeys says, well, you need to go to the Witch of the South, Glinda, who lives down here. And they say, you know, you need to go to her. She's kind. She's a good witch. And she lives in the country of the Quadlings. So you have these weird colored lands with weird people names, or names for their people, I should say. You have the Munchkins, you have the Winkies, and now you have the Quadlings. So these are all these made up names for the groups of people who live there. Now, I will tell you, in the movie, there was not 2 good witches. They talk of 2 good witches in the movie, but you never see them. In the movie, you meet Glinda. Now, Glinda in the book is the Good Witch of the South. Glinda in the movie is the Good Witch of the North. So there's only one good witch in the movie, and I don't know why they changed it from the book, but we only meet her. We don't ever meet an old witch like this one. So Dorothy is now on her way to the land of the South, and the one warning that the flying monkeys gave to her was, whoa, it's dangerous. So, of course, here they are in the Emerald City trying to figure out what to do. The Scarecrow is the new ruler. And Dorothy says, well, I want to get started right away. And so this is the next page in the picture book. And it's of them once again on a journey through Oz. There's a picture of the Emerald City. It's really pretty. So our characters are sort of back on another journey. They have traveled to the Emerald City, and then they traveled to the Wicked Witch's castle, and then they traveled back to the Emerald City, and now they're on a quest to the land of the South, all to try and figure out a way to get Dorothy home. So that's where we're going to stop. Tune back in next time for chapter 19, I believe, right? Chapter 19 is called Attacked by the Fighting Trees. So right away we realize that they're attacked right away on their journey. So tune back in for that chapter. It'll be a good one. All right, my little munchkins, there's no place like home. Bye.